Good morning and welcome back to 10-Minute English Cafe. It is Saturday, July 18th, 2026. Good morning. I am holding this mug with both hands because the cafe air conditioning is winning. I noticed. Do you want me to ask for a little hot water? Yes, please. I chose iced coffee and developed immediate regret. Then here is a question. When did one small detail last change your mind? About 30 seconds ago, when I realized the ice was colder than my confidence. Fair answer. Noticing small details is exactly why I chose today's 3 stories. Now I want to know what I missed on the first look. We have a changing wellness culture in Paris, a quiet artist's major exhibition, and a raccoon rescue in Pennsylvania. A sauna, intricate jewelry, and one rescued raccoon. Each story clearly needs its own space. Exactly. Here we turn global news into natural, everyday English conversation for listening and shadowing just 10 minutes a day. Subscribe to practice with us every day. 10 minutes, 3 stories, and no textbook on the table. That works for me. Today's keyword is take a closer look. I like it. It sounds useful when the first version of a story feels too simple. Right. Before we decide what something is, we can slow down and examine it more carefully. I took a closer look at our cafe bill and discovered the extra pastry was mine. That example is honest, and the phrase will move us from first impressions to details today.
Good. Start with Paris before I inspect my receipt again.
Our first story questions an old stereotype that French culture is suspicious of organized wellness.
My Saturday wellness plan is usually stretching in a cafe chair, so I am listening without judgment.
That is a realistic starting point. The story focuses on a newer mix of exercise, design, rest, and social time.
So what does that mix look like in an actual place?
Roch opened near the Tuileries Garden in central Paris.
A beautiful location helps, but 5 minutes near a cold bath would test my courage.
That's honest. The facility covers about 400 square meters across 2 levels.
That sounds less like one treatment room and more like a place to spend time. It has a sauna larger than 60 square meters and 5 cold water pools. 5 choices? I'd pick the least alarming one and call myself brave.
I knew the cold water would get your attention. The broader idea includes interiors, community, and rest.
I like that. I could put my phone in a locker and see whether my notifications survive without me.
The phone break fits the atmosphere. The founders had already built a network of fitness studios through Monday Sports Club.
Then they understand the workout part, but they're adding a reason to stay afterward.
Exactly. A friend, a calm room, or time to recover can become part of the visit.
I would happily meet a friend after class, instead of comparing step counts in an app.
That everyday shift is the cultural point. This is not proof of a medical benefit.
Good distinction. I can enjoy a ritual without pretending my water bottle is a doctor.
When we take a closer look, the story isn't simply France suddenly loves wellness.
It's about some Paris spaces making exercise feel more social, designed, and restful.
Right. A stereotype gives us a first impression, while the facility shows a more specific change.
I'll take a closer look, but I'm starting on the warm side.
Our second story stays in Paris, but moves from shared wellness spaces to a very private artist.
I wear tiny earrings because larger ones catch on my sweater at my desk. Jewelry is already practical drama for me.
That is a useful personal angle. Daniel Brush made jewelry, objects, sculpture, and paintings.
Then calling him only a jeweler gives us a very small first frame.
Exactly. The article's writer calls him the world's greatest unknown jeweler, but that is personal praise, not an objective ranking.
I appreciate that distinction. Admiration can be strong without becoming a scoreboard.
The official exhibition at L'ÉCOLE runs from June 8th through October 4th.
I always face a museum choice, photograph everything, or put my phone away and actually look?
For this show, slower looking makes sense. It includes more than 75 pieces.
That feels manageable. I could give each case a moment instead of speed walking through the room.
Some works are being shown outside his New York studio for the first time.
That makes the exhibition feel like a careful opening, not a loud celebrity reveal.
He worked without assistance and produced relatively few pieces across several art forms.
One pair of hands changes how I see the details. Even finding an earring clasp in my bag takes patience.
Your bag is a difficult studio, but the point is good. Small surfaces can hold a great deal of labor.
And a retrospective lets us see how that careful work developed over a career.
Right. His wife and collaborator worked with a jewelry historian to curate this career-spanning exhibition.
I like that the context helps us look. It does not demand that we accept a ranking.
Here, take a closer look is almost literal. Line, surface, and light matter.
A phone thumbnail may only say shiny. Standing nearby may reveal the decisions behind it.
And visitors have until October 4th to make that slower visit.
My plan would be simple. Phone away for the first 5 minutes, then one photo later.
Our final story moves to Pennsylvania, where a small local rescue needed specialized equipment.
If I saw an animal stuck near a drain, my coffee and my feet would both stop immediately.
That reaction makes sense. In early July, public works employees and police found a raccoon trapped in a metal storm drain grate.
I am glad they called the right people instead of trying a random solution.
The location was Roch Township, and the confirmed reports do not explain why it became trapped.
That matters. Give me one blurry photo, and I could invent a 3-part drama before my coffee cools, but we don't know the backstory.
Save the trilogy for later. Firefighters came to the scene and used hydraulic rescue equipment.
The nickname Jaws of Life sounds enormous beside one raccoon.
It's the common name for the hydraulic rescue tool used to free the animal.
So the contrast is real, but we don't need to invent extra danger around it.
Right. The simple, confirmed version is enough. They used the tool and freed the raccoon.
That careful sentence is stronger than a dramatic guess.
Afterward, the animal was returned to its habitat.
That's the ending I wanted. Now I can put my coffee down without worrying.
The exact rescue date is unclear, so early July is more accurate than choosing July 6th or 7th.
I respect an honest calendar answer. Not every blank needs a confident number.
Taking a closer look also means separating what we know from what we don't.
We know the grate, the tool, the rescue, and the return. We don't know why it got stuck.
Exactly. Careful language keeps a warm animal story trustworthy.
And if rescuers are working, my phone stays in my pocket so I don't crowd them.
Sometimes the kindest response is calling trained people and leaving out extra drama.
It's a small story, but those careful choices make it worth remembering.
Which detail changed your first impression today?
The 5 cold water pools? One was already enough in my imagination.
We saw a changing Paris wellness scene, a 75-piece plus exhibition, and a carefully reported raccoon rescue.
They are not one story, but slowing down helped each one become clearer.
That is today's phrase. Take a closer look before settling on the simplest version.
It works with news, a museum case, a cafe bill, or a caption on my phone.
Here's today's question. Which story would you most like to take a closer look at?
Option A, French wellness culture. Option B, the Daniel Brush exhibition. Or Option C, the raccoon rescue.
I choose B. I want to see how one artist used line and light across different materials.
I choose C because a careful rescue with a simple happy ending feels right today.
Those choices suit us perfectly, and both depend on paying attention to detail.
Tell us A, B, or C in the comments. Any language is totally fine, and even just an emoji works.
If you enjoyed our chat, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for tomorrow's Cafe Talk.
We'll be back tomorrow with 3 more stories and another useful conversation phrase.
Take today's phrase with you. Pause, check the details, and take a closer look.
See you tomorrow. Keep your coffee warm and your first impressions flexible.